Thank you very much, Beatriz. I would like to make my congratulations to Mayor Regalado, President Figueres, former Minister Jorge Castañeda, Ambassador Einaudi, and especially to you, Dr. Beatriz Rangel, a longtime admirer of Dr. Kissinger, who made this conversation possible. I would like in these final remarks, let me point about this very important thing we are commemorating. Dr. Henry Kissinger is about to turn 100 years old, and today he is the subject of a widespread tribute all around the world. But given that it is impossible to describe his life and work in these few minutes, perhaps it is useful to emphasize some lessons from his strategic thinking. The first thing I would like to mention is his lifelong admiration of balance of power. It was conducted throughout his entire career, both in academy and in diplomacy, in which Kissinger promoted the search for stability through a framework of legitimacy acceptable to the main actors in the system. A subject that he described in his masterpiece, written in the 1950s, A World Restored, The Politics of Conservatism in a Revolutionary Era, in which he explained the problems of the European order after the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. Which leads me to mention the importance of the notion of world order in Kissinger's thought and the extreme importance of studying the benefits and mistakes of international arrangements, such as the Congress of Vienna or Versailles in 1919, or 1945, or recently, the New World Order that emerged at the end of the Cold War, and which misunderstandings are maybe the main cause of today's quarrel between great powers. Another thing that we must mention is the outstanding capacity to work both in academy and high office of Dr. Kissinger, which is extremely important, the value that he attributes to history. He always mentioned a Churchill phrase, which asked by scholars what recommendation he would do to young politicians. He says, study history, history, history. And in this way, we must mention the huge intellectual efforts made by Dr. Kissinger on essays as Diplomacy, World Order, on China, and his recent book, Leadership, in which he mentions the capacity, the ability to expand national capacities to its limits, and he mentions this huge admiration of leaders, for example, as Anwar Sadat, the president of Egypt, or President Nixon. And last but not least, of course, we owe to Dr. Kissinger, as well, of course, of the leadership of President Nixon, the opening to China, maybe Nixon-Kissinger administration most important achievement, as well as the possibility of setting the base for a new Middle East with the accords between the State of Israel and Egypt, with a peace treaty that was completed in the following Carter administration that was started in the 70s during the Nixon and then Ford administration, with the huge work of Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. Beatriz, thank you very much. I think it was a great pleasure for me to have the opportunity to deliver these few comments in this panel. And it's a great honor for me to be in company of such important people here as President Figueres, Ambassador Einaudi, former Foreign Minister Castañeda, Mayor Regalado, and of course you, that I would like to thank you especially, because I know your admiration, your friendship, and your gift about doing this in the tribute of a great statesman of this second half of the 20th century, Dr. Henry Kissinger. Thank you very much.